the investigative reporter, author of, and producer of it. It started out as a book. It's now a movie that you can see over on Amazon, The Best Money Democracy Can Buy. Greg Palast.
Best democracy money can buy.
Isn't that what I said?
Close enough.
Okay, the best democracy money can buy. I'm sorry. Anyhow, gregpalast.com, of course, the website. You can tweet him at Greg_Palast. Greg, welcome back.
Glad to be with you, Tom.
So you are in Georgia right now. Tell us what's going on.
Well, I just avoided a bust yesterday. I'm here announcing with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the SCLC, and New Georgia Projects and Rainbow Push, that I am suing with these organizations the Secretary of State, Brian Kemp, for removing hundreds of thousands of voters on the grounds that they've moved. They haven't. We got consultants from the post office who assured us that these people have not moved. It's another blackout. And guess what? Not coincidentally, Brian Kemp, the Purgeon General of Georgia, is also running for governor.
Now, he removed 1 in 10 Georgia voters from the rolls. Do I have this right, in 2017?
Yeah, in a single year, 1 in 10 voters of Georgia. And I'm not counting the dead or those in jail. I'm saying 1 in 10 live Georgia voters were removed from the voter rolls. Cockamamie reasons. He is running against Stacey Abrams, who was elected to be the first black female governor in American history. And the polls are looking grim for Brian. It's really neck and neck, but he's in trouble, and I guess he thinks that the only way... I tried to ask him. I've tried to meet with him. I said I'd rather not sue him. I'd rather talk to him and get the information from him. But I did tell him, so I went to... he wouldn't talk to me, so I went to talk to him. I went to a barbecue joint, and you could smell the pigs. I didn't know whether they were inside or outside. Kemp's bus showed up. And I tried to talk to the would-be governor, Brian Kemp, about the purges and about avoiding filing a federal lawsuit against him to get the information that's required by the National Voter Registration Act. So, if he doesn't want to be a lawbreaker, I said, just talk to me. And there's a clip we have of his reaction.
Here it is.
This country has gone back 50 years. In terms of racism. And many people don't want to talk about it. They're afraid to talk about it. We have the facts. It's an attack upon those of color, and it's an attack upon poor people. They don't want poor people to be a part of the process. Dr. King said this country is too rich to have any poverty within it. And he also said the government is the enemy. This is a clear example of what the government is doing. It is not friendly to people of color and to poor folks. I'm not afraid to say it. So you can talk the numbers, that's fine. We got the facts. But like Greg said, he's not the activist, he's not SCLC. We fought and died for the right to vote.
Okay, that was the wrong clip, Greg, so you want to tell us what that was?
Let me say who that was, though. That was Dr. Charles Steele. He is president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. He's the successor to Dr. Martin Luther King in that post. And as he said, we have died, and he's talking about his successors who were gunned down and for the right to vote in Georgia. And he is my co-plaintiff against Brian Kemp, the, white Secretary of State, or maybe Secretary of State for white people of Georgia. And so he is explaining why he is filing the suit. He explained that to Georgia Press yesterday. And now the next clip is, so I went to Brian Kemp, and with the idea that if he would turn over the information to me willingly, we wouldn't drag his behind into a federal court, and I want to know if this is a racial purge. So I think this next clip is like I say, in the parking lot of a barbecue joint. You can smell the pigs, and here comes Brian Kemp in his campaign bus.
Okay.
Good to see you, man. You doing all right? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Good to see you, man. How you doing? Good to see you.
This is Brian Kemp walking around shaking people's hands for those people listening to the radio as opposed
Hey, good to see you.
to watching.
Representative, good to see you.
Mr. Kemp, are you removing black voters from the voter rolls just so you can win this election?
Please do not touch him.
I'm not Mr. Kemp, are you removing black voters just to win this election? Please don't touch me or I'll have you arrested. Please don't touch me. Sir, why are you purging voters from the voter rolls? Okay. Sir, why aren't you answering my questions? Sir, why do we have to sue you to get the names of voters who've been removed? Why are you? Let go of me right now, sir. Who are you, sir? Who are you, sir?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is I welcome to Georgia.
Yeah.
And wow, they wouldn't even let me ask a question. So as you see, and the papers reported on this incident later, saying they knew that I was there, and they had seen me there, so they decided to literally block me, and then they threatened to arrest me. The cops threatened to arrest me that are working with Kemp. Because they said the owner of the property wanted me off, and the owner told the papers, "No, I didn't. I've never kicked anyone off my property." But the main thing is, it's not how they mishandled me; it's how they're mishandling the voters of Georgia. I will say, Tom, that I did get from Kemp a response at the last minute. It's incomplete. We're still going to go to federal court, but he gave me the name of every person and their address that they've purged. It's now up at gregpalast.com right now. If you're in Georgia, right now. Go to gregpalast.com, type in your first, last name, and zip code, and find out if you are the 1 in 10 of the negative lottery where you lose your vote in Georgia. It is astonishing.
Wow. Now, how many people have confirmed for you that they still live in Georgia? They thought they were still registered to vote, but they've been purged from the rolls. Have you started that audit process, that contacting people process?
Yes, two things. Number one, we sent out the word, and we're already getting flooded with people saying, I was removed. And so I'm actually staying in Georgia to get a few of them on camera. And I just really want people to get this information. Our lawyers are now considering whether we should seek an injunction to extend the registration period, which ends in 1 week on October 9. And frankly, that they should just put these names back, because we've checked with the post office contractor. This is not inexpensive, by the way, to do this. We checked every single name, and overwhelmingly, almost all those people still are at their voter registration address. They haven't moved anywhere. And of course, the smell of Chris Kobach is not far away.
Right.
They are using the cross-check list as one way to purge voters.
Which raises my last question, Greg. To what extent, it certainly looks like this is a criminal conspiracy, frankly, in Georgia by Brian Kemp. As Secretary of State, he controls the voting rolls to purge, as you point out, 1 out of 10 Georgians off the voting rolls, presumably predominantly in communities of color. And now he's running for governor against Stacey Abrams, who would be the first black woman governor in the history of the United States. But to what extent is this exact same thing happening in other Republican-controlled states? I'm assuming it's not happening in any Democratic-controlled states.
We've sent 90-day notices of federal lawsuits to 26 states. In fact, I'm going to Jesse Jackson's birthday party, my co-plaintiff in Illinois. So we're hitting many states. Kansas, of course, and Ohio, Michigan, Indiana was real bad. In fact, one of the people said, "Oops, it looks like we missed," because they had a court injunction against using cross-check, and their people inside said, "Oops, looks like our people are still using cross-check in violation of an injunction."
We forgot.
All over.
Right. We forgot.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the call for action here right now is for, if you know anybody in Georgia, if you are in Georgia, contact them, or if you just have if any Georgians are watching, reading your Facebook feed or whatever, put a link to gregpalast.com and tell these people in Georgia that they can check and see if they're on the purge list. And if so, then you've got 1 week to reinstate your right to vote in the state of Georgia, which has been taken away by the white Republican Secretary of State because he doesn't want the black Democrat Stacey Abrams to be able to win the election.
Young people, too, are really affected. It's kind of like Obama's campaign. It's the young as much as black folk who are backing Abrams. And they are really affected by this purge because they don't distinguish. They pull people out from moving, but they don't distinguish. As Stacey Abrams pointed to me when she saw the list, that they're removing people who moved into Georgia. The new young voters moving into Georgia are being purged. It is, but again,
because they moved into the state. Because they moved into the state.
Into the state. They have literally, and Stacey Abrams discovered this by going through my list. I've asked both candidates to comment. Stacey Abrams, by the way, did not threaten to have me arrested, just so you know. It's only Brian Kemp. And Stacey Abrams looked at the list and said, my God, they're removing people who are moving into the state of Georgia. And she showed me the registration dates mismatched, the second date coming into Georgia. It is astonishing. It is ugly. And Kemp is denying that what he's doing, but he's given us at least a list of the voters. Please check your name.
Yeah, there you go. Go to gregpalast.com for all the information. And if you want the backstory on this, The Best Democracy Money Can Buy is the film to watch. Greg, thanks so much for being with us, as always.